Embrace community, seek your heritage. You are a link in the chain, gathering across the boundaries. Still, our culture remains. Shalom, you're welcome here. You'll find your people here. You don't have to do this alone. Join our family in spiritual diversity. Bruchim Havayim, welcome home.
After 17 years as being an independent spiritual leader, I've served so many families who wanted more control over their Jewish experiences. Over 17 years, I've watched so many amazing and innovative professionals bringing a new level and a new quality of Jewish services to the greater Jewish population. I also realized that as an independent professional, it's a lot of work to maintain my website and market it and to get my message heard around the country. And I realized that a lot of my colleagues were having the same problem. I looked around and I wanted to find a way to bring these amazing resources to the Jewish community, to be able to guide the Jewish community in a more concierge style to choosing their Jewish experiences. And I wanted to support my friends and colleagues who were offering amazing and innovative resources. I wanted to bring everybody together. And I looked around and I didn't see what I wanted to find. And so I decided to create it. Prior to COVID, one of the biggest challenges in the Jewish world is people wanted more control over their Jewish experiences. In prior to COVID world, we were very limited to our Jewish resources based on our zip codes and our denominational affiliation, whether we affiliate as or identify as Reform or Conservative or Reconstructionist. With COVID, the world instantly realized that there are wonderful resources out there and that we don't need to be limited by our zip code or our denominational affiliation. But at the same time, where do you start to look for the service or the person or the clergy or the educator that works specifically for you? And people just wanted more personalization over their life cycle events. They wanted to be able to hire a clergy that they identified with. And maybe they wanted a clergy in one place, but to have access to an educator in another. Or maybe they're looking for other Jewish resources and really didn't know what to find. So mypersonaljudaism.com really brings the greater Jewish community together with amazing and innovative concierge-style Jewish resources in a marketplace of activity and connecting anyone who seeks any type of resource together through this one-stop shop for all things Jewish.
Hi, my name is Misty, and I had the pleasure of coming across Cantor Debbi's name after many searches, whether it was through Facebook and or Google, in finding a spiritual leader for our family. We were really unhappy with our synagogue and felt like our oldest daughter was just a number, and they wanted just funding for her bat mitzvah. My Personal Judaism would have been a great site for us to be able to research, and whether or not it was finding other clergy or places for our bat mitzvah for our daughter, it truly would have made some of the decisions a lot easier and quicker for us. My Personal Judaism is a great site. It will allow you to make the world even smaller and connect with different people, whether it's from clergy to music to artwork from all across the world and would really help you make different decisions, whether it's for babies and teenagers or even getting married. So I'm really excited that I will be able to use it for my stage in life now, as well as I get older, and be able to pass this on to my girls to make it super easy.
When someone accesses the main page of mypersonaljudaism.com, they are instantly invited to take part in one of three actions: find, gather, and discover. It's a really well thought out website, and the invitations are very clear. You can find any resource that you might want to find, whether you are looking for your own for hire clergy, or a Jewish educator, or a summer camp, or a musician, or a Judaic artist, or a Kabbalah teacher. Anything that you want to find that offers services direct to the consumer, you can find. And in the Gather section, this is an amazing online community, very similar to a very well-known, popular social media platform. Instead of it being public out into the world, in My Personal Judaism, our community is closed. It's more niche oriented, specifically to the Jewish and Jewish population. So you can find people, you can join groups, you can participate in forums, you can shop in our marketplace. There are so many community activities to take part in mypersonaljudaism.com. And the third invitation, to discover, is where all sorts of learning can occur within this platform. You might just want more information on a baby naming or bar mitzvah and what the ritual means and different ideas for celebrating those rituals. And we really are creating this diverse content community across denominational streams. So you can learn the Orthodox perspective and the Reform perspective and the just Jewish perspective. So really there's no boundaries to accessing all of the Jewish content and experiences that you might want to experience.
Shalom, I'm Robbie Sherwin of the band Sababa and a Rabbi Cantor in Austin, Texas and Sun Valley, Idaho. As many of you know, only about 10% of Jews around the United States are affiliated with a synagogue. That means that 90% of the Jews are not being served. But Cantor Debbi Ballard has a fantastic idea. I want you to go to mypersonaljudaism.com and see the opportunities that you can have as a seeker, you can have as a provider, and that you can have as a Jewish person to be able to connect to a community, to a beautiful life cycle, to a beautiful piece of art. Debbi Ballard has a better idea. mypersonaljudaism.com.
When I first envisioned My Personal Judaism, I envisioned a tremendous benefit to the greater Jewish community. Obviously, the ability to choose. Choice is so important. And when we're celebrating our precious life cycle moments, we want to choose the officiants, and we want to choose educators that are going to work best with our children. I was so excited to bring so many wonderful resources to the Jewish community. But what I really didn't realize, and what ended up being the case, is that there is not only the internet of all things Jewish, but there's the intranet of all things Jewish. So what I mean by that is there's all of these services being offered directly to consumers, but the additional benefit that we're seeing is that our professionals are able to engage with each other. A independent clergy can hire and engage with other educators. And we're creating almost an internal marketplace for the Jewish professional, not only to serve the greater Jewish community, but to support each other as well. Jewish entrepreneurship has never really been recognized before. We've never had an environment to present Jewish entrepreneurship to the world. And what we've seen through the creation of My Personal Judaism is a way to present amazing resources, not only to the greater Jewish community, but with each other, and a robust and powerful marketplace where we can all be supported and support the greater Jewish community. I believe that in 5 years from today, we will see a complete change in the way people do Jewish. I think that there is a beautiful and harmonious way of bringing all resources together. And so while everybody has been so worried about 87% of the Jewish population being unaffiliated, the reality is that in any moment when someone hires a clergy, when someone hires a Jewish educator for their child, or even chooses a summer camp, that's not an affiliation. That is affiliation. It's just a self-directed way of affiliating. It's choosing. And so when I look into the future of what this website can do and what it can be to the Jewish community at large, I believe that this resource brings all of us together. Synagogues, community centers, programs, that every step of the way, bringing someone in through one thing can help them access Judaism through many things. And so I truly believe that mypersonaljudaism.com will completely innovate the way people engage Jewishly. It will support the greater Jewish community by promoting and connecting. And it will truly raise the affiliation level and change the paradigm in how we connect to our Jewish community.
Judaism is something that both my wife and I grew up with, but times were different a generation ago. Think about it. Many of the things that we did years ago are a bit different today. Why shouldn't our connection to Judaism not grow with the times too? To us, our connection to Judaism is about being able to connect when and where we want, and more importantly, to do it in a way that is meaningful to us. Thanks to technology, we can be part of a virtual Jewish community wherever we are. We aren't limited to a specific place or a particular way of doing things. With My Personal Judaism, we were able to find the right clergy for our children's bar and bar mitzvot. My Personal Judaism is an online community where we can gather and share meaningful connection to our Jewishness through a network of ideas. We like to think of it as our source for all things Jewish.
At mypersonaljudaism.com, we are bridging the gap of Jewish affiliation. And I recognize that as direct-to-consumer professionals, we are often criticized by mainstream Jewish community. And I understand it. And it is not at all an intention of taking away from anyone or any organization, but rather it is creating choices and solutions for the Jewish community. What we've seen is that when we embrace the population that desires more choice and personalization in their Jewish engagement, and when we welcome and embrace them in a non-pressuring way, they want more. They want to engage more. As an independent clergy, there have been many times my families have said to me, "Thank you so much for serving our family and for bringing us a positive connection to Judaism. For our next child, we would prefer to now be part of a bigger community." And I love that. I happily will walk a family into a synagogue and say, "Here, this is wonderful." I believe passionately that there's a lid for every pot, and that it is our responsibility in the Jewish world to meet people where they are in a way that is meaningful for them. when we do this, when we show how beautiful and fun Jewish connection and engagement can be, perhaps they'll want more the next time. And so if we all work together, if we all support one another, we don't have to look at each other as taking away from, but rather we create solutions. We truly work together to change the Jewish landscape. When I first thought about this website, it was 5 years ago, and I had no idea what direction I would go to create it. And even a year ago, when I envisioned this project, it wasn't anywhere close to what it's becoming today. So today, as I look at this website as it's been completed, and we're now opening it up and welcoming new users, and we have attracted some amazing professionals in our directory, I am so excited. I am empowered and energized to keep moving forward. And I honestly cannot wait to invite every Jewish or self-directed Jewish-seeking person into this community, knowing that there is something here for everyone. I am so excited to welcome everyone to mypersonaljudaism.com.